Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, it's IT2, and what a time to be alive. I am super excited. Today I'm going to be talking about some upcoming stuff. The Path of Exile Scourge live stream was last night, apparently, and I missed it. And I got the official trailer, content reveal, and I got all these other streamers and YouTubers that are making videos about how excited they are for it, and it was way bigger than they expected. And I'm doing a lot of changes because last league was shit and they nerfed everything to death. So we got that, and then we've also got Far Cry 6 is out. It's been out for a while. Haven't bought it yet. Still waiting to see if it gets cracked because Far Cry 5 got cracked in 19 days. I'm just holding my breath and seeing what's going on. Maybe something like that could happen along here, maybe in November. Because I'm still watching all my Halloween movies for October. And we're in the middle of bow season for deer. And of course, we've also got Diablo 2 Resurrected, which is still going strong. Way better than I thought it was going to be. We'll play a little bit of it tonight. As soon as I get done here. I got me some Jack Daniel's Watermelon Punch. I don't know if I'm going to drink that tonight, but I'm going to settle in. I'm going to play some games, watch some movies, have a fun time. Just had some pizza. First I should talk about the Diablo 2 server issues they've been having. They've been having all these problems with disconnects and stuff, and they released some info today saying that a lot of it was people doing Piddleskin runs. A lot of it was just like people start a game, they do Piddleskin, which takes like 20 seconds if you're fast, and then they quit and they make a new game. And if you do that like too many times in a row, you get this kind of like too many games made error, which is the same error you get if the actual servers are messed up. Because they said they tried to keep most of the legacy code in the game, so everything's like as legit as the original game. And something wrong with the legacy code that creates games, and it creates the list of games. Because like they were saying, there was like at launch there's a certain number of people playing the game, and it's gone up steadily and like incrementally. We keep breaking all these records, like the number of people playing Diablo 2 right now. I guess it's people that played Diablo 3 and didn't know Diablo 2 was better that are just realizing it for the first time, and they're switching from Diablo 3. Plus you got the original Diablo 2 people. Maybe. Because I thought at first they were lying about it. They were saying like there's tens of thousands of games in the first 10 or 20 minutes or something like that. And if you play the game and you look at the games list, of course there is Nightmare, Normal, and Hell, but you always get like the same 20 games, and then you refresh it, and maybe there's 20 new games, and then you refresh it again, and it's like the original 20 again. So it's like, there's only like 40 games on the list. There can't be tens of thousands of games being made. So, I guess that since that legacy code is also the thing that produces the game list, as well as the new game creation stuff, that's what will cause this error. Like if you try to join a game by typing it in, and you typed the name wrong and the game didn't exist, it would kind of error out, and then you couldn't create any new games until you restarted the whole game again. So maybe there really is tens of thousands of games. I kind of hope there are, but sometimes when I get playing the game, I get frustrated at some old bullshit that Path of Exile is improved upon. I keep saying this is not the best game ever made; it's the worst game ever made. And I go back. Also, I'm going to be making a video about my original video, why Diablo 2 is the best game in the world. Somebody told me I should just remake that whole video and like do a modern version of it, which I don't really see how that would work if I like read the entire thing like I said before. I'm going to just watch my original video and then comment on that. I'm going to do a reaction to my old video, so I'll do that maybe tonight too. But let's get into the Path of Exile Scourge trailer. If I go here and then I go here, you can see Zizarin's got a video about it. I don't know that guy. Gazzy TV's talking about Syndicate Operatives being dead. See, I didn't even know Syndicate Operatives is a good summoning minion. Darky Cat, I started watching his at work and I was like, oh, this is too big. I need to stop this and watch it at home. Get my first reaction to it. And then Grimrow's got a video about it. Why Scourge is so insane. See, also, Guntoad was telling me about it last night. This is why I'm so much better at explaining things than some people. He just was saying, you scourge an item 10 times, and it gets better, like you get better implicits or something every time. What I think he meant to say, he said it was kind of like Delirium and Breach, or Delirium and something mixed together. What I think he meant to say was it's like the Simulacrum from Delirium, where the Simulacrum, you have like 15 rounds that get progressively harder. So every time you choose to risk it for the biscuit, you take a chance on, you run a little run, you know, you do like a map with a boss at the end or whatever, like a short one, I think. And then if you succeed, then you get the Scourged item improves. Or if you fail it, then maybe you can't Scourge it anymore. Doesn't brick the item. I was asking, like, well, there's got to be a downside. Doesn't it brick the item? He said no. So I was like, this is like too overpowered. You can't just like hit a button and keep making something better 10 times. You would just hit it once and it would make it 10 times better. And that's how you would normally do so. So he left out the whole part where when you Scourge it, you got to do a thing that you could fail. And if you fail that, it doesn't brick the item. It just bricks your chances of Scourging it anymore. So that makes sense. I like this idea. If that's how it works, which I think is it. I'm going to watch this. This is like 30 minutes long. It's going to be a long video.
Hi, I'm Chris Wilson from Grinding Gear Games. Welcome to the Work From Home edition of our Path of Exile announcement.
I got this.
Thanks for joining us as we discuss all the details of the upcoming Path of Exile Scourge expansion, which releases on October 22nd for PC and October 27th on console. For today's live stream, Twitch drops are enabled. Check out the link below the stream for more information on how to claim your free Dragonfly wings. First up, we'll showcase the trailer for Path of Exile Scourge. Then we'll take a deep dive through all the details of its Challenge League and rewards. After that, we'll talk about the improvements we're making to Path of Exile's endgame and the various types of new aspirations.
We might skip some of this.
For you to benchmark your best characters against.
I know you guys probably don't care about the passive tree.
We'll talk
and
about some big improvements to the
new skills we'll hit a little bit. Balance changes you probably don't care about. Guild improvements you don't care about. Q&As you don't care about. Alright. Is this all bookmarked? Official trailer. Here we go.
The day the demons found our world.
Ah!
The innocent.
Just in time for Halloween.
To die.
Demons. I forgot to mention, I think they're doing this to compete with Diablo 2. I think they're earlier than they normally would release an expansion because they released the trailer and all the patch notes like 2 weeks early. Usually it's like 2 days early. So that's Andariel right there. Who's this big motherfucker with? He looks like a Titan from Attack on Titans with just all muscle. What? So this little guy here looks kind of like a. These are a couple of guys. That looks kind of like the guy from Street Fighter, Baraka. No, that's Mortal Kombat. What's his name? The Shocky guy. Hang on. You gotta analyze these clips. Let's back it up a bit. Are these any new skills down here in the skill tree that I can tell? What was that? That's some kind of poison pulse thing. What is that?
They approach your world, your Wraeclast. You must take the fight to them.
Oh, okay. So there's the new implicits. They're orange now. Regenerate negative life per second. Ah, that's the downside. So you lose life, but you get acrobatics. Okay.
Embrace the power of chaos. Become more than mortal. Face the...
What does that do? Unique items can just be transformed into what?
Nightmare.
Is that a skill? The fire tornado? I was hoping it was a skill last time. They showed some kind of clip with a fire tornado. Yeah, the thing about... He told me about this thing about... You don't have to go all over the skill tree anymore and make everything connected if you get the mastery skill for it. You can skip around somehow. Interesting that they added guild hideouts now that I've quit my old guild. Maybe I should make a new guild, a T2 guild. If I had fans anymore, then I could do that. Wait, those are the... Oh, the expedition guys. They go core. That's good. Expedition League was a really good league, but that's the league that they nerfed everything, so it was the worst league ever, but with one of a really good league mechanic. So they got made it look bad.
They are ravenous.
Ravenous!
They are endless. They are the Scourge.
They are the Diablo 2 bosses reimagined, featuring a flying Andariel. Alright. Here's where they explain it all.
The Path of Exile Scourge expansion contains a lot of new content and features that we'll reveal to you today. Let's start with its namesake, the Scourge Challenge League. Upon leaving Lyra's watch, you're startled by a figure appearing out of nowhere, trying to escape from something you can't see. She hands you a rusty-looking device called the Blood Crucible and urges you to implant it into your body. As you play through each area in the Scourge Challenge League, the Blood Crucible fills with the blood spilled by monsters you have slain. Once it reaches a certain threshold, you're able to activate the device. This will instantly thrust you into a parallel reality, an alternate Rayclast where some form of apocalyptic event is occurring. This Rayclast is overrun by demons known as...
It sounds like that movie where they came from the future to get people from the past to help them fight in the future. Or... Right? Or is it that other movie where the guy kept dying and he could redo everything?
As the
Tomorrow War, and then...
Scourge. They're powerful, dangerous, and come in many forms. The more blood you have collected, the longer you can stay shifted into the parallel Rayclast. But the longer you stay, the more damage you'll take. When the Crucible's blood runs out or you choose to shift back, you are instantly returned to your original location in our Rayclast to continue your journey.
You're just surrounded by a different bunch of angry hordes of mobs. What if you choose not to put the Blood Crucible in? You just play as normal?
So why enter an alternate reality to fight a horde of ravenous demons?
Yeah.
The answer to that question is exactly what you expect from Path of Exile. You're not there to save the world, you're there to find cool items. You can put an item inside the Blood Crucible. While you are killing the Scourge, it absorbs corruption from the alternate Rayclast and focuses it onto the item. After enough kills, your item is ready to transfer.
I should make sure my microphone's working because there we go. Last time I did this,
when it does, it becomes
made a really long video
and
with no
gains a
mic.
pair of Scourged modifiers. One of these is a beneficial mod, and one is a detrimental mod.
Okay.
These Scourged mods are in addition to the regular explicit and implicit mods or enchantments on the item. There are many powerful beneficial mods available that can really improve your item. The detrimental mods can significantly raise the requirements of the item, penalize your character's stats such as resistances, or outright turn off various mechanics like the ability to deal fire damage or gain charges.
What? Deal no chaos
The
damage.
goal of the transformation process is to get a beneficial mod that makes your item a lot more powerful, while also rolling a detrimental mod that doesn't hurt your build much or at all. But if you get a combination you're unhappy with, then your item is not ruined. By putting it back in the Blood Crucible and killing even more monsters in the alternate Rayclast, you can transform it a second time, potentially getting a better pair of mods that overwrite the first.
Wait, what? I thought it stacked 10 different mods. I thought you were going to have like 10 implicits and 6 explicits. That don't make sense. I guess that makes more
It
sense.
can be transformed up to 3 times, and each time it guarantees a minimum tier of beneficial and detrimental mods equal to the number of times it has been transformed. By the 3rd tier, you can start to get some very powerful effects.
Okay, triple damage. Oh shit.
The Blood Crucible works on already corrupted items, so it's possible to add Scourged mods to items that you thought couldn't be improved any further. Talking about corrupted items, you're going to need a way to modify their sockets. While in the alternate Rayclast,
Oh, okay. Reforges the color on the... Oh! So you can do stuff to corrupted items with these tainted items.
You can find tainted chromatic orbs, tainted jeweler's orbs, and tainted orbs of fusing, which work exactly the same as their regular counterparts but can only be used on corrupted items. Tainted orbs provide a significantly easier and cheaper way of modifying the sockets on your corrupted items than the crafting bench does. While it's obvious that Scourged items can be among Path of Exile's most powerful endgame equipment, it's worth considering the huge impact that good Scourge modifiers can have on your run through the campaign. In our testing, we often manage to Scourge items that are far more powerful than leveling uniques. As you slay the Scourge and other monsters while shifted, the Blood Crucible gains experience and can level up. You can allocate its skill points in its own passive skill screen, which allows it to specialize in many aspects, such as unlocking additional item slots, faster item...
What? +1 Crucible slot? What does that mean? You get another Crucible to stick in your body? And also, I wonder if people are going to be like mispricing corrupted things because they think they're bricked when actually you can still jeweler and fuse them and stuff. You can watch out for that.
Item transformation, better transformation outcomes, the ability to transform unique items, and so on. It's possible to eventually allocate every single one of the Blood Crucible skills, but it requires a lot of demon slaying.
Really?
Scourge's endgame is one where you control the level of risk and reward, or as we like to say in the business, it has a lot of player agency. Once you're exploring the Atlas of Worlds, you may gain the ability to place maps in the Blood Crucible alongside your equipment. When a map absorbs enough corruption and transforms, it gains a beneficial and detrimental...
Oh, this is the slots he's talking about. Shift into Nightmare. What does that mean? Is that the realm where your Crucible is
in
doing
the
stuff?
same way that a piece of equipment does. It can also gain a modifier that changes the behavior of Scourge
But you can't manually shift into Nightmare, so it's you gotta stay in there till you die? Until you kill everything.
in that map entirely. After all,
Just for 15
when
seconds.
you combine two types of alternate realities together, the results are bound to be unpredictable.
Oh, bound to be. Surely.
Maps can be transformed up to 10 times, increasing their risk and reward substantially each time. When a map is transformed a second or subsequent time, there's a chance that the new beneficial or detrimental modifiers stack alongside the existing ones, enhancing their power, or a chance that new modifiers are added. Be careful not to transform your maps too many times, of course, as they may become too dangerous to complete.
So the odds of getting 10 different ones is really bad, because it'd be like
Path of
rolling
Exile Scourge
heads
introduces 6 new
10
unique
times.
items, of which 3 have been added to the core drop pool, and 3 can be found in specific aspirational content that we'll reveal later in the livestream. Ul Natol's Vow is an amulet that effectively enables you to turn any 6-linked body armor into a 7-link.
Non-exceptionals can also support subtractions from your body armor. What? That means you'd have 2 versions of your skill. So if you got a 6-link on your body armor and then 7-link on your amulet, you'd have to pick the one that has the 7. That's good though. Put power on everything.
Support gems you socket into this amulet apply to skills in your body armor. While specific mods on items have allowed players to create 7-link skills in the past, this amulet lets you choose whatever support gem you want, including corrupted or awakened ones. It's only possible to find this unique item in specific content that we'll reveal later in the livestream.
You could have Empower and
The new
Enlighten.
Mageblood belt is one of the most powerful unique items to ever exist in Path of Exile. It permanently enables a number of your utility flasks, providing their benefits constantly with no work required on your part. This belt means that regardless of what your build is, you'll sustain your utility flasks during 100% of gameplay, even long boss fights. Mageblood is in the core drop pool and is exceptionally rare. Early next year, we will release a huge overhaul of Path of Exile's Atlas of Worlds endgame in the 3.17 expansion. In the meantime though, our October Scourge expansion introduces a bunch of changes that speed up how...
Wait. So you could use Dying Sun effect constantly? 2 extra projectiles all the time? So it doesn't even have to wait for the flask to fill up? or anybody hitting it or whatever, or automation. It's just like, you just have the effect. What about the freaking soul catchers and stuff? What? That's like infinite veil skills are back, right?
Quickly, you can set up and progress through your atlas.
I guess it's super
We're also
rare though.
introducing more types of ultra-challenging endgame content for top players who want to put their best characters to the test. In order to substantially shorten the length of the atlas grind, we've reduced the number of regions from 8 to 4. This implicitly reduces the number of watchstones required from 32 to 16.
Did you get rid of some of those shitty skill tree options then?
We have also reduced the number of maps on the atlas, so it's now approximately 100 plus the unique maps. We've rebalanced the bonuses for completing content so that by the time your atlas is fully unlocked, you'll receive a slightly higher level of benefit than you did before. Because the number of regions has been halved, so have the number of atlas passive trees. There are now 4 plus the Uncharted realms. We've made each tree slightly larger and removed some less frequently used or duplicated skills. You'll still be awarded the same number of atlas passive skill points as before.
Ah, that makes sense. Because you used to have like an encouraging one over here and an encouraging one over here, and you have to pick which one you want to run. But now they just put them all in the same thing.
These changes, each map you play constitutes far more progress than it previously did. About half as much work is now required to reach.
It's like they nerfed Harbingers. They put it in Valdos instead of the other one.
We've made some other changes to streamline the endgame also. For example, now when you unveil a modifier, all tiers of that modifier are immediately unlocked at the crafting bench. This applies to every veiled modifier, including the very rare ones.
Ah, that's handy.
Many of Path of Exile's past leagues have an endgame
I did make a lot of my money from selling prophecies that give you those unlocks. I don't know if that's going to be as worth now. Well, maybe it's the only one of its kind. That's the one that gives you like the suffixes can't be changed or something like that.
Component that is designed to challenge the best players with the best builds. Over time, more and more of Path of Exile's experienced players have managed to defeat the game's hardest content. Our most difficult endgame content doesn't pose as much of a challenge as it once did. In the Scourge expansion, we have added a set of new aspirational content, uber versions of Breach, Blight, Legion, an extension to Delirium's Simulacrum, and a revamp of Delve.
Never done a Simulacrum yet.
Breach's endgame involves running
Never had
Breach
Scourge.
which can be placed in the map device to open portals to a Breach Lord's domain. For each Breach Lord, there are currently 4 tiers of Breach Stones, and you can upgrade between them using blessings.
Right.
Path of Exile Scourge introduces a new tier, Flawless Breach Stones. These can't be obtained via blessings, but are instead found in the Maven encounters where you fight the Breach Lords in their most challenging forms. These Flawless Breach Stones require a substantially more powerful character to complete, but have rewards appropriate for their difficulty.
This doesn't affect me, I'm not that powerful.
Existing
I
Breach
like that
Stones now have
MTX.
2 random modifiers.
Little
Not all,
chains.
it doesn't include build disabling ones, such as not being able to leech. And the new Flawless Breach
we'll
Stones
skip
have
this.
4 of these modifiers.
Look at the passive tree. That's not going to affect
It
me
has been a
much.
long time since we've done a big rework of Path of Exile's iconic passive skill tree. The Scourge expansion includes quite a lot of changes, and before I list them, I want to emphasize that our goal here has been to keep the tree as similar to before as possible. All of your years of muscle memory will not be wasted. The tree will still feel like the back of your hand, despite our changes. While planning this rework, we examined every aspect of the passive skill tree. We reviewed and improved each of the tree's class start areas, we added new clusters of skills, improved existing ones, and concentrated power more directly on each skill's primary function. The process of doing this identified that many passive skills had niche stats that didn't matter to most characters or distracted away from the purpose of what the skill was trying to do. When we took niche stats away from a skill, we buffed the primary function of the skill so that it was more concentrated on one purpose. While I'm sure that powerful passive skills sound great to you, you're probably wondering what happened to all of those niche stats. You see, while we were doing this revamp, we realized that specific build-enabling niche stats appearing in specific locations on the tree actually constrained players' passive builds in quite severe ways. Players who wanted to get several specific niche stats often had little flexibility with the rest of their tree because they had to plan around getting to the specific clusters that had those niche stats in them. We decided we wanted to solve both problems at once here, to move niche stats off the main tree, but also to provide a way to get them, preferably from many different locations all over the passive skill tree. And that's how we came up with a passive masteries system. Outside of the class start locations, all passive skill clusters that have a notable passive in them now contain a passive mastery. When you allocate the first notable passive in each cluster, a mastery becomes available to allocate in that cluster. When you spend a passive skill point on the mastery, you can choose a specific stat to gain. This list is shared with all the clusters on the tree that have the same theme, so you can travel to any of them to get the stat you want. As you allocate a mastery stat, it's crossed off the list for that theme.
Wait, what was on that node before he changed it? Like if you do this one, and you click this one, where does the new skill go? Wait, what?
This mastery system has essentially let us
Searing
add
heat.
hundreds of powerful
He
new
clicks
notable
this.
passives that you can access from all over the tree.
Okay.
In addition to the stats that we moved into masteries when
And fix
consolidating
that.
power on the rest of the tree,
Where did
we
that
got to come
go?
up with a
Do you just
bunch
get
of
it?
new interesting
Oh,
niche
it goes
stuff
in the
to
middle.
enable even more builds.
I just pick the one after that one, the other one.
We've
Okay.
also rebalanced a few keystone passives.
What is this? Solipsism. Tells us to press on Harry Boss Energy Shield. 2% reduced duration of elemental ailments for 15. That's free shock and ignite. That's probably, I don't know if that's good. Sturdy friends on Harry Boss evasion tends to suppress spell damage for 15. So what's like a normal high amount of dex enter strength? Is there a strength one? Huh. Spell suppression. So if you wanted like 15%, 15 times 15, 225 dex, that's reasonable. Okay. Oh, sorry about that.
Changed the locations of some and added 6 new
Damage over
keystones to the tree.
time, chance to block, ghost dance. Oh, that was the one from the Trickster. Is that just on the tree now? Cannot recover energy shield to above armor. 30% total physical damage prevented from hits is recently is regenerated as energy shield per second. Prevented from hits. So if you have a lot of armor, whatever your armor prevents, it regenerates it per second as energy shield. Divine shield too. That sounds like a paladin. That sounds like it could be good.
Overall, Path of Exile's passive skill tree is now a lot more powerful, with concentrated power coming from core passives, and a selection of build-enabling niche stats available on masteries for you to pick between.
Shit. I'll have to figure out a build to play
Path of
now.
Exile Scourge introduces a whole variety of new skill
new
gems with many
skills.
different purposes.
I'm tired of all the old
Both
skills.
of them are new concepts, unlike
Ready for a
anything
new
we've done
skill.
before.
I was thinking Burning Arrow maybe because elemental ignite or elemental dots are supposed to be big this time, and armor. So you could do a chieftain, you could do elemental arrow, burning arrow, and use a lot of armor, and you can take advantage of both of the new buffs. Or you could do like a tectonic slam ignite, which I don't know if I want to do that. Bows are just so strong. But yeah, I don't know.
These ones are designed to immediately create entirely new builds that have a lot of potential. There's also a utility skill that will help characters stay alive, a variation on an existing skill gem, and 6 new gems designed for party play. Let's go through the new skills.
What are these 6 new gems here at the
Energy
bottom
Blade
there?
is a new skill that transforms your melee weapons into
What? A
energy
fucking
A large
lightsaber?
portion of your energy shield is converted into the lightning damage that these blades deal. This opens up an entirely new melee energy shield archetype.
We're playing
You want
Star
to
Wars
make
this time,
as much
boys.
as possible to get the most powerful blades you can.
Oh,
Conveniently,
shit.
the defenses REWORK in this expansion is very compatible with this plan.
If I do what?
Temporal Rift is a new utility skill that allows
So
you to
you-
rewind your character.
Was he using that to like enchant his sword and then he used spectral throw to make it throw it out? So I could like, can you enchant it with fire and have like a red lightsaber and then tectonic slam? Well, you can't do swords for. You do mace if it works with. What did it say? Does it work with everything? Requires a non-bow weapon. You can use it with anything. You can have a 2-handed lightsaber, a big ass one. Oh shit! Right? It costs energy shield? You don't even have to use mana? That's cool. It's smart. Makes sense. Uses energy shield because it's an energy blade. Temporal Rift. Reserves mana to apply a buff and leave. See, people were wondering, or I guess they're wondering if, like, am I going to have time to play Diablo 2 and Path of Exile? I think we're going to make time. And Far Cry 6. We'll fit them all in there. Especially after Halloween's over. November is going to be fucking fun. Let's just say.
Rift is a new utility skill that allows you to rewind your character's state by 4 seconds. After activating
you get all your health back?
Storing your position, life, mana, and energy shield values every quarter second. When you use the skill again, you will rerun back to 4 seconds ago.
What? That's like the chick from Overwatch.
Skill introduced in the last expansion. This skill does a lot of damage, but also hurts the caster when used.
No, you just put it on totem.
Rift allows this player to snapshot their full life orb.
Nah, I don't know about that, dude. Just put it on totem. Let totem take all the damage. What are you talking about? Nobody's gonna do it.
Not only is temporal rift
nobody wants extra steps.
For obvious reasons, or while exploring maps sufficiently.
Yeah, I gotta worry about that. Just put it on totem.
Interesting tricks with mana. It'll be pretty cool in Delve as well if you don't mess up the timing.
Pretty sure something on
also prevents
patch
temporal
notes.
chains from affecting you while it is
Can't use it with totems now or something.
Tornado is another new skill. As
the name suggests, shit! It's not just a fire tornado!
Damage.
What?
While the tornado is forming, you have a couple of seconds where it will absorb damage from projectiles you hit.
Oh, Gunto was telling me about this. I thought he was talking about, like, Hydrosphere or something. I wasn't thinking about a real fucking tornado that goes into the sky.
Fire as many projectiles as you can into it during that period, and it'll power up, greatly increasing its damage.
Like if I'm a burning arrow archer? or a lightsaber? A fire lightsaber guy? Tectonic slam the tornado. You get a fire tornado. Holy shit.
In the Expedition expansion, we
This is why Path of Exile is the greatest game ever made. Fuck Diablo 2.
Introduced a skill called Explosive Concoction. Based on player feedback, we're improving the skill so that its projectiles are thrown faster, have a higher base crit chance, and have greater speed. Now that we feel that Explosive Concoction is sufficiently powerful, we're introducing a similar new skill called Poisonous Concoction.
We're so sure we fixed it. We've given you another one that you can shit on, like we did last week.
It implies this one deals poison damage rather than fire damage, and consumes charges from your life flasks rather than your elemental
I doubt they
flasks.
fixed it.
Poisonous Concoction scales its damage based on how much life the consumed flasks recover.
It looks cool,
which encourages you to craft your flasks to take advantage.
We'll see about this no weapon throwing potion shit after they nerf potions. They better have restored potions to a usable
state. It's quite rare for us
state.
to introduce skills that only work for party play, but in the Scourge expansion we've created a set of 6 that function in similar ways but do different things. These link skills create a bond between you and a specific party member, providing a big benefit to them while they stay within range, but with a very important drawback that if they die, so do you.
Wah, wah, wah.
Soul Link protects your target by causing a percentage of damage they are dealt to be applied to your energy shield instead. If you have built it...
Wait, what was that melee skill they was using? Because I've never seen that before. If it's not one of these. These all seem to be like buffs things. It's not like a new active skill gem.
Tanky character with a lot of energy shield, then you and your target will be protected by it. Protective Link grants your target a
That right there, that melee skill, what is that?
chance to block attacks that is equal to yours,
It's like a big lacerate. It only does one hit.
and also grants some life gain on block to them. By default, the obvious use of this Link skill is to allow you to specialize in block, and then use it to protect an ally that is specialized in something else, like damage. But there are some cool tricks you might discover.
What was that big thing that came out of the ground? Was that an enemy skill? Or like a ice, summon like a ice worm or something.
For example, the Glancing Blows keystone passive doubles your block chance, but changes that so that you still take some damage from blocked attacks.
Oh, that's the chick from the thing. Yeah, I thought that was a spell.
In conjunction with Protective Link, though, your target will receive your doubled block chance, but won't receive the drawback. Intuitive Link is socketed alongside a spell on your character, and that spell is triggered from your target's location when they hit an enemy. This could be useful, for example, if you have a party member who's cycloning through enemies, and you can trigger your spells from within those packs of enemies without having to get close yourself.
That's interesting.
There are 3 other Link skills that we will reveal closer to release. As this expansion does include significant nerfs to aura bot characters who stack auras for the benefit of their party members, these link skills give them a viable, more active playstyle.
It's like girlfriend mode.
Link skills cannot normally be used with your minions, but we're adding a minion mastery to the passive skill tree that allows you to use link skills with them. However, this has a high...
Wait, what? Can target minions? So you can just have your minions casting shitloads of your spells for you? If you have 50 minions casting 50 versions of a spell that you're just cycloning through everything? Or does it target one minion at a time?
High ongoing mana cost that is difficult to stay on top of. In Path of Exile...
Oh, the more minions, the more mana it costs. So you drain your mana if you use too many minions. But they got that new big minion, the the Reaper. Yeah.
Scourge, we've done a lot of balance work improving flasks, ailment mitigation, general character defenses, and elemental damage over time. We have made some changes to how stacking auras and curses works, and have buffed most awakened support gems. We've posted about the changes we intend in the last couple of weeks,
There's a
and have
Reaper
been
right
iterating on
there.
these changes based on testing and your feedback. We are posting the full Scourge patch notes after the Q&A portion of this livestream, so we'd encourage you to check out the full details of the balance changes there.
Let's see
We're
these
patient for a
guild
very long
things.
time, and after 8 years, we're rewarding that patience with a wave of guild quality of life features. As a game about items, the functional heart of a Path of Exile guild is its stash.
Oh, it's like
Finally
a Viking
control items
longhouse.
into and out of your guild stash, and access other features such as the drop-down list of stashes.
Look at this fishing pole in his inventory, just fucking with us. Those things don't do anything in the game. Ever since the game originally came out, they had all these fishing poles and like some kind of like feathers. He's got a row of feather in there too. Look at him. Like it's some kind of bait for the fishing pole. They don't do shit. There was even a video somebody made a long time ago, like you go into an atoll or one of those maps that has like water all around the outside, and you used to be able to get a map mod that increased the map size, which made the water on the outside deeper, meaning you could catch better fish, but there's no way to fish in the game. It never has been. It's always just a big joke. It's like snipe hunting, which snipe actually exists, but this is one of those things you tell people, like the Tooth Fairy or something.
Drag and drop stash ordering, affinities, etc. We have also introduced guild versions of all of the types of premium stash tabs, so guilds can finally enjoy popular tabs such as currency
Look at that smiley face. They're trolling us.
or map tabs. While shared guild tabs are a little more expensive than individual tabs because of their server costs and development overhead, we have bundled all of the exotic ones together in a single discounted bundle for guilds that want to invest in the whole lot at once. We have also added the ability to export a CSV file of your guild stash.
What are these jokes? Accounts. Mirror polisher. World's best map farmer. Jerk we don't trust. Headhunter. What is this? Is there some secret stuff in here? Cowl of the Cryophile Silken Hood? That's not a thing. Chevron's Revelation Moonstone Ring. Is that a thing? These are all real, but this one right here. Cowl of the Cryophile. Cowl of the Cryophile. Oh, it is a real thing. Oh, that's from Blight. Okay, my bad. Continue.
Activity log for convenient auditing. We wanted to pair functional with...
What was that at the end there? Also, these are like how you manage your guild.
File of your
You see
guild
how
stash
what people
activity
take out of the guild treasure
for
chest or
convenient
whatever.
auditing.
Added albino row feather. What was that? Reef bane fishing pole at the end? I saw that shit.
Hideouts. Guild
Man, they are
leaders can select
sneaky.
any in-game or microtransaction hideout that they have unlocked and create a guild hideout based on that template. These hideouts are a great place to hold guild meetings.
There's a little
or just
bar.
As a space for members to meet up.
Look
between
at
maps. If you're hanging out
Look
in your guild's
at
hideout, you can use its map devices though.
Yeah, pretend like you're drinking.
We understand that not everyone is in a guild, so there's one hideout-related feature that we wanted to mention. We have entirely removed the favor system in Path of Exile. From this expansion onwards, all hideout decorations that could previously be obtained with favor are now available to all players in unlimited quantities, both personal and guild hideouts.
What?
There's nothing stopping you from making the hideout of your dreams.
Only your time
We've
and
also added
ambition.
a system that allows you to filter decorations by tag because there are just so many available to you by default now.
All that work you did before, worthless.
Alongside Path of Exile's Scourge, we're introducing the expedition content from our last expansion into Path of Exile's core game, with a few adjustments.
Wasted your
Expedition
time.
artifacts are no longer tradable items,
Boom!
just two key effects.
Got
The
him.
first is that they are automatic.
I think the explosion would kill all those things, but they're already dead,
All
so...
characters can now engage with the Kalgaro merchants without having to feel that their best
Something's gotta be killed 3 times.
Players who may use it more efficiently than them. It's a difficult decision working out whether to make specific items tradable or not, but we feel that on balance, this new approach.
What
will
is
solve
that
several
skill right
issues with the
there?
system. It's also worth noting that the currency items that allow you to re-roll the vendor's inventories are still tradable.
Does that just
You'll still find
lacerate?
expeditions from
What, they
access
changed it or
onwards.
something?
There's an 8% chance for a map to contain an expedition, and they can be further augmented through investment in the appropriate Atlas passive skill tree. As we move new leagues to core, we will replace
What is this
outdated
guy?
obsolete content. In this case, Expedition replaces Parandus.
That's
Details are in the
Parandus?
notes.
I've never looked at him up close. He's ugly as fuck. Bye, Parandus. He was kind of worthless
While
anyway.
clicking on items is a critical part of playing an action RPG. There's a fine line before it becomes a chore, and we're trying hard to make sure that clicks on items come with appropriate reward. Expedition artifacts being automatically picked up isn't the only improvement we're making to reduce unnecessary clicks in this expansion. In order to make sure that each stack of currency items is worth a click, we're trying out a system where currency items drop less frequently, but in larger stack sizes. For example, Scrolls of Wisdom in the late game might drop 1/10 of the time, but when they do, it'd be in stacks of 6 to 14.
10th as much should be always stacks of 10, right? Right. If you sometimes get stacks of 6, then you're losing, but sometimes you get stacks of 14, I guess it evens it out. I don't know, you're trying to make me do math. I feel like you're tricking me.
This means that the click that you will make will gain you a much more meaningful amount of currency at once. We have applied this to many different types of currency items, and the effect of the system
What
is
was that skill? I thought he was using a bow.
types of currency items, and the
Do
effect
that
will
again,
give
do
you a
that
much
again.
more meaningful amount of currency at once. We have applied this to many different
That's
types
frost
of currency
blades, isn't
items,
it?
and the effect of the system gets
Multi-strike
larger as
frost
you get
blades.
further into the game. In addition, we've had a look at instances where item drops happen simultaneously, and we've made it so that items that can drop in stacks will automatically do so. This includes at the end of delves, incursions, rituals, blight encounters, breach stones, and the simulacrum. We have also applied this approach to many chests and areas like splinter drops throughout Path of Exile. Before we move on to our final announcement,
Yeah, I don't do supporter packs. Twitch Rivals Royale Tournament. Don't care about that. So that's it, guys. Looks pretty freaking awesome. They got a lot of stuff. I definitely want to check it out. I'm gonna have to start thinking about builds for the next week or so. Yeah, that's 43 minutes long. Let's get out of here. Holy shit, I gotta make other videos.